Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Queens of American Wrestling. I'm Tyler, and we're back with the Cverse save. I've took a break from it for a little bit just to kind of try and catch us up on the WWE save, but this save is not going away anytime soon. In fact, I'm obviously, as I've said before, I love me some Cverse women's wrestling. And we're here at American Lucha. We have a good amount of I'll get into the card when we actually get into the show, so let's just jump right into the actual card itself. So before this segment actually begins, we pretty much run through the rest of the card, as we have the main advertised matches are Alina America versus Jaguar Queen, of course, for the Queens of American Wrestling's world title. Jaguar Queen coming up from Mexico, as is tradition for American Lucha, to wrestle for that opportunity. The Best in the Business versus Lucha Bound for the QAW tag team titles in a 2 out of 3 Luchador Falls match. Sarah Taylor takes on Modesty for the Shockwave title, as well as the Line take on Ronan 3 in a highly anticipated 6-man tag, or 6-women tag, I should say. But after we go through the card, we have Baum and May open the show. MMA, they just kind of they're gloating about a bit, just at the fact that they really do think that they have two possibilities in their head, that either Alina America is going to lose the QAW world title, or she is going to be so distraught that she will have no choice but to give up the title. She'll be injured, and she'll have to give up the title to, of course, it will be awarded to MMA, because why would it not be? But during the segment after that, Juana Hurricane basically storms down to the ring, and she basically just starts talking about, how she doesn't even really get to cut a promo before Hellcat Hernandez rushes her, starts beating her down. A little devious smirk on Hellcat Hernandez's face, and then they start to brawl, and Commissioner Baum and MMA were like, oh, okay, that happened. And then you kind of see, as they are distracted, someone with red hair rush up from the crowd, and it's Pamela Rojo. We haven't seen her in a while. She runs the ropes and hits both MMA and Commissioner Baum with a huge drop kick, sending both of them out before they can continue their promo. Chaos at the start of the show. Everyone, Pamela Rojo getting some revenge after she's been bullied by the commissioner of QAW. And we have our opening match, a high spots match between Izzy Quick, Darkness Cat, and Air Raid Siren. Darkness Cat continues to job Air Raid Siren out as she hits the Black Cat Moonsault, doing very good in this match, basically carrying it to it. Although Air Raid Siren and Izzy Quick, they have gained some, experience, some match quality in their matches here in QAW, which is always good to see. But it's really what happens after this is that Millie the Minx runs down, right? Millie the Minx was, of course, if you watched the last episode, involved in a 6-woman tag with Darkness Cat, and she just starts beating up Darkness Cat. We can only assume that perhaps she's mad, she's jealous about, the victory for the faces against the heels. I mean, she didn't really pin her, she's just taking it out, I guess, on the weakest link, I guess you could probably think. And as this fight is going down, all of a sudden, the next thing you know, someone else in a leather tight suit runs down, and it's completely red. We don't really know her. I mean, some of the fans might know who she is. The luchador-esque fans might know. But Hellcat, as we'll come to find out, comes, and she just protects Darkness Cat, with Millie Minx going like, what the fuck is this shit? And she's just utterly confused as these two weird. And it's also noted that, as we stated before with Darkness Cat, where she's coming quite more cat-like, if you know what I mean, like she's fucking going nuts. Hellcat has completely lost her mind. Like, she's acting like an actual cat would. She's hissing and shit. Millie the Minx just puts her hands up, is like, I don't want none of that. She just walks out, almost scared of the cats, and then they walk out and leave her to that. And we have our amazing, absolutely awesome 2 out of 3 falls Lucha Libre match, which I always think is funny. Is like, I think, if you make a 2 out of 3 falls match, and I know WWE does this, anyone who's not like if it's just a regular 2 out of 3 falls match, they act like, oh, no big deal. But when you put the word Lucha Libre instead of 2 out of 3 falls, everyone's like, oh my god, this match type up. How am I gonna survive? I don't know about this. Like, it's the fucking funniest shit ever. And we work that in near the best of business, pretend like they don't know what a fucking 2 out of 3 falls match is. They every time they just kind of fuck up. I would have them win the first fall and then celebrate like they just won, only to be remembered it's a 2 out of 3 falls with everyone saying it. But eventually Marina Torres submits Lily Schneider with the Venus flytrap to get the win for the Lucha Brown to make defense number 2 of the QAW tag team titles in this very good matchup. Obviously, Maria Torres was off her game, but even then, you know, everyone's performance in here has been great, especially Pinky Perez. Pinky Perez is really impressed. You know, that work like that will get you, you know, some title shots, you know, if you know what I mean. And then we have a kind of cool down match between Sarah Taylor and Modesty Patter. Sarah Taylor just kind of out wrestles Modesty. Modesty's just too young. Sarah is obviously young in herself, but her experience in AAA has gained her some, you know, wrestling knowledge. I just dropped a thing for my water that allows her to win in 11:22 with the Newton Cradle, making defense number 2 of her title the Shockwave title. And after that, Suzanne Basil's music hits. And, you know, she comes out and she's like, Little Miss Perfect? Really, Sarah? Really? She's like, what happened, Sarah? Was it what I think it is? Was it AAA's closing? And Sarah's like, she has a microphone display. She's like, I don't give a shit about AAA. Are you kidding me? And Suzanne's just like, okay, alright. Sarah, when I worked with you down in AAA, there's 2 things I noticed. One, I never got to fight you, and I'm starting to think that that's been a disappointment, but it could always happen here. But number 2, most importantly, is I do remember shades of Little Miss Prairie. See, when Catherine Quinn would try to teach you things, when I would try to teach you things, the veteran roster that was there, try to teach you young girls the thing, especially you wouldn't listen. You didn't care. You didn't give a shit. You came out here, and then when she says shit, the crowd's like, ooh. She's like, we tried to bestow upon you knowledge to take the future of women's wrestling. And most of these women here in QAW are the exact opposite of you. They absorb knowledge. I have been in the back talking with all of these rookies, and they're just absorbing knowledge like a sponge. They want to know everything that I've done. Not just for that I've done it, but so they can do it too. You just don't give a shit. You just don't care. You just want to do what you do, win a title and sit back on a beach resort. Well, you know what? That first point I made, we are going to fight, Sarah. I want to fight you for that Shockwave title. This whole idea of you bringing it to the youngest of the crowd is just a way for you to exploit rookies' greediness. But how are you going to do when a veteran comes after you? Brother, and she doesn't say brother, but the crowd pops at the idea of Suzanne Razzle in Little Miss Perfect. Normally it would probably be like, absolutely not, but she just goes, fine, okay. I'm not sure when, but I'll see you for the title. And she walks right out, and even Suzanne's like, oh, okay, neat. And after this, we have Daniela's sweetheart. She cuts a promo from her house. She is currently at home after a massive attack that she's been had on by Jaguar Queen. And she goes, MMA, I know that you want that world title. I want that world title too. And I think the only real thing we can do in this situation is to have a number 1 contenders match. But this isn't just going to be a number 1 contenders match. This is going to be a fight. I have never missed a QAW show before, ever since I joined this company. From when I was enhancement to where I am now. But Jaguar Queen, and more importantly you, because I don't mind Jaguar Queen. I've fought her before. I've seen her before. But you organized that. And now, for the first time in my life, I've missed a show. It takes my heart out. You've ripped it out. missing one of QAW's biggest shows. But you know what? It's going to feel sweeter when I beat you in that ring. So I'll see you there. So a match made in heaven. Daniela's sweetheart taking on MMA at our next pay-per-view event. But I believe the main event... no, this is not the main event. The Line and the Ronan 3 match is up next. And in a decent match, the Ronan 3 defeat the Line when Foxy Lou pinned Houston Handley with a flash head kick. The Ronan 3, this match basically just kind of like a chaotic 3-man tag. We get more... We just get a sense of more unity from the Ronan 3, being that they're able to just kind of... they have a common goal. The Line's goal is obviously to stop the Ronan 3, but there's still times when there's not infighting, just a little, like, naivete. But the Ronan 3 are just all over Houston. They keep Houston in the ring. Eventually leads to the flash head kick. Not able to make the hot tag for the pin in 1945. And then we have our main event. In a good match, Alina America defeats Jaguar Queen in 2014 by pinfall with a handful of tights. During the match, MMA tried to run and attack Alina America, but I forgot to kind of set this, is that as she runs out to attack Alina America, Danielle's sweetheart rushes in, so she was at the show. It was a ruse all along, and she brawls a little bit with MMA. Eventually, security pull Daniela's sweetheart away for some reason, but that's just to justify her. But this whole match is just Jaguar Queen using power moves, but Alina America, eventually she hulks up, brother, and, she points. No, she doesn't point. But the handful of tights is because it was supposed to be tainted. Basically, after Daniela's sweetheart is taken away by security, MMA rushes up and brutally attacks Jaguar Queen. She had a chair and she slams it on the back of who she thought was Alina America. It was actually Jaguar Queen. Alina America doesn't notice, and she hits her finishing move and wins the number 4th of her title defenses. And after this isn't in the segment. I should have made it its own segment. It would have been fun. But Jaguar Queen basically turns around and is like, oh, you fucked up. And MMA is just like, oh, fuck. And Jaguar Queen picks her up like she's probably in the ring and just throws her out of the ring into the announce table. And just destroys MMA. And then she looks at Alina America and is like, good match. A good match. And Alina's like, yeah, you're two. You're two. And that's how we end our American Lucha. Well, that's how we officially end it. We do have some matches. As we see, we have a segment where we see Suzanne Basil walking out when Alexis Lee Leatherfeather stops her in the hall. And she goes, did you hear my announcement the other week? Couple months ago. And Suzanne goes, yeah. She goes, I'm getting ready for my last match. I want to have it on the road to 3-way dance. And she goes, well, I want it to be you, Suzanne. And Suzanne goes, I don't think we've ever had a match. It'd be an honor. And she raises to shake her hand, and Lee Feather shakes her hand as well. A match made. Alexis Lee Lillifred's retirement match against fellow veteran Suzanne Basil for Road to 3-Way Dance. And we see basically a short video of Commissioner Baum, who's like cradling MMA's like on a hospital, like, they're rolling her out to a quote unquote ambulance. You don't even see the ambulance; we're too poor for that shit. And Farrah's kind of like walking back. She's got to make sure her talent's okay, but she doesn't really. She's like, oh, she kind of had that coming. But Commissioner Baum's like, oh my god, poor sweet MMA. She's gonna be fucking killed. She might be dead. Resuscitate her, CPR, medic. And so we don't know the status of MMA, and we don't know the status of what she's being able to do for our next few shows. And that's how we end American Lucha. 48 pop up in one. I know I had the thing with Becca Barton. I'm a bitch, used too much, but I don't give a shit. So I'm gonna tell Foxy she did a good job. I'm gonna tell America she did a good job, and I'm gonna tell Pinky Perez she did a fantastic fucking job. Absolutely amazing. Kind of makes me wish I would have given her a title shot, but they are the tag team champions, so it do be like this sometimes. Alright, so there's no real news for the show. I just wanted to point out Well, two things. Just that we were in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We drew 541 fans. Feedback has been awesome. The small companies outshone some of the bigger companies' recent events, so that's always good. As well as we have a Jaguar Queen. She is gone from the company. It was just a 2-night deal. I might have mentioned that before, but just in case. So this doesn't impact the signings that I will do, that I'm limiting myself on. It was just a one-time. It was a 2-time deal from our partners at the lovely CILL. So that's it for this episode. I'll see you guys for the next episode, which will be the Road to Three-Way Dance. As we're starting to get into the main shows, we're starting to get near the crowning of the Queen of the Ring tournament. And I'll see you guys all there.